Hello, hello, hello. Goody, 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 everyone. This is Dayhawk, bringing to you episode 50 of Shaman King 2021. I have to say this, guys. I have to say this. This was a bad episode. Disappointing episode. Sure, you might say, wait, what are you talking about? And I'll tell you why it is. The first half was really good. The match between Horo Horo and Kareem was pretty good. And we get this revelation and the backstory of Horo Horo. That was pretty good. But then once we hit, the cave plant, this was a match that I wanted to see because I never got that chance in the 01 version, and it was the match between Nichrom and Ren, because this feud runs deep personally, because Ren killed Nichrom's older brother, and I wanted that particular match to be bloody, and those two boys will have their last few words, and Ren will be the last man standing while Nichrom just collapses and dies right there and then. I wanted that match to be, like a WrestleMania match. But it didn't happen. It just felt so one-sided. And it was a rushed episode too. It was so rushed. It's so disappointing. However, I have a duty to do this recap, this review. And, we have 2 episodes left. And I'm concerned. Because I feel like this is just... What are you guys doing? Since you already know the outcome and you're probably not going to make it. So, I don't know. There's still a chance that the 2 episodes might turn my feelings around. But... I don't know, man. Because a show may be good, but if the ending becomes like a Game of Thrones season 8 type of ending, then everything goes down the drain. Let's be honest here, guys. And I hope it's not the case for Shaman King. I hope not. But we'll see. But so far, this heading towards the finale, and then before, 2 episodes, because we have episode 51 this coming week, and then next week the last episode. I don't know, guys. For right now, we head back to Horo versus Kareem, and he gives us the story of how the name was the name. It's the name of the bastard that murdered the woman that I had a crush on. And this is 95, folks. We're going back in time of the year 1995, and we get to meet this girl named what's her name? Damuko. What's her name? She was a transfer student, and Horo and she had this brief talk, and this is where I'm gonna butcher it. Damuko gave him the nickname Horo Horo. It was her, and it's revealed too that her dad is working on a dam in his town, and Horo was like, are you sure you want to be around me? I'm the outcast, that sort of thing. And she's like, that's funny, I am too. And that's where they started to get close. Then word got out to the elder, and then the elder had this talk about you cannot be friends with this girl because that foolish human who means to steal the god's own land from under them. So in other words, you cannot be friends with Damiko because her dad is destroying the forest, the nature, whatever it is, to set up a dam, you know? And those type of people are not allowed to become our friends because they are destroyers of nature. For example, if I had a parent whose job is to cut down trees, or maybe is in charge of building a hotel there, Horo is not going to be friends with me due to, what my parent is doing for a living. And as we all know, Horo comes from a people who are nature lovers. They're pretty much the Japanese Native Americans. They're per nature, everything needs to remain as nature intended to be. And this is where Damuko is getting shunned here, because after that talk, Horo has started to avoid her, he has stopped talking to her, and Damiko is like, why are you not hanging out with me and talking to me? Is it because, you think I'm here to flood your village? Is that it? But then you see Horo just up and leave the classroom, and this is the sad part here that's coming up. Damiko follows Horo Horo to this bridge, and mind you, prior to this, as they were talking, getting to know each other, Damiko was talking about how awesome the butterbur plants are, because I think Horo took her to see these plants, and she instantly fell in love with those fields. And so, another word that came from, because of Damiko. And so Horo fast forward to the bridge. Horo's not listening to her and just go on his merry way to his house. And then Damiko never showed up for a few days, never showed up. And he assumes that maybe she moved to a different class, maybe she transferred somewhere else. We don't know until we fast forward to this funeral home, and it was discovered that they found a body in the mountains, and it was Damiko's body. She froze to death. So after the bridge, she got lost in the mountains, and that's where we get the discovery that she was frozen to death. And this is where Horo's story takes a dark turn. This is where he feels guilty as hell for what happened. He could have felt he would have just said something and maybe took her home. Whatever it is, the what ifs started to creep in. And this is where he feels guilty. This is where he gave up everything and just threw himself into his training to becoming shaman. He just wanted to become lost. He felt guilty. Oh, it was so bad. For a young kid his age, ugh. And so this is where Horo's dream of planting those butterbur fields got started from, because of Damiko. Because of her, he wanted to plant all those fields once he become king for her. But, and then it's very sad. In the original, in the old one, the reason that he wants to plant those fields is is for his spirit forest friends, for them. And also for other reasons as well, but that was his main reason why he wanted to do this. But here in this version, it goes a whole lot deeper than just planting fields just because, it was because of his crush. And another dark secret that came out, he was the one who just stood idly by while those people in charge of building the dam, flooded the village. Of course, the people weren't there present and, they died. I'm sure they moved, but they were the ones that flooded the village, and Horo didn't do anything to stop them. And then we continue on the fight, and then the yo-yos were just listening in, and Horo was like, look, I'm sorry I didn't tell you guys my story. I understand that you don't want to be friends with me anymore. I mean, if you want to leave me behind after I defeat Kareem, that's fine. That's fine. But then here comes Koro in between Silva and Horo, and we get this shocking discovery that Damuko appeared. Koro / Damiko are the same being, the same spirit. So Koro revealed her true form as Damiko, and we get her side of the story, where we learn that her spirit didn't want to leave this earth without getting some answers. And the forest spirits wanted to take her to the underworld, but she couldn't let go. And then this is where the giant forest spirit appeared, and he offers her something, which is become a spirit of the forest, watch over her land and her people, and you get a chance to reveal your true form once your master spirit, I assume she knew it would be Horo, but the moment Horo's heart melt, that's when you get to reveal yourself. And it happened. And then we get this awesome moment of Koro and Horo having this powerful moment. And then you get to see Kareem smiling, and this is where Kareem dies. And this is one of the reasons why I said I liked the first half, because of that. And Kareem helped him to just face his past, tell the truth, to not make him see that, in my opinion, Horo's felt this guilt for how many years up to this point. And me personally, if I were talking to Horo about this, Horo, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You're not responsible for Damiko's death, It's not your fault. And now that he's free, he can maybe use his true name again without, bursting into rage. But Jesus, this is so much for a little kid like that, But at least the guilt is gone, and he is free of it. So, yeah, that's a happy ending right there. And it's all thanks to Kareem. It's all thanks to him. And here's the part where things are starting to go south, because everything is rushed after that point, because we head towards the forest plant, and one of the patch members have the power of the chameleon. But then guess who was the one that killed that chameleon user? Opacho. She was the one that used her oversoul just to kick her way towards opening the door, so to speak. Because Opacho was trying to sleep, but the mind reading, she read the chameleon user's mind, and she pointed out that your mind is noisy, I can't sleep. And that's where she turned into the sheep and just kicks them, and that caused the door to open. So that means Opacho killed Mr. Chameleon guy. I mean, that's great for Opacho, but I mean, okay, alright. We're in a rush, I guess. And then Yo tells the story about the power of mind reading, and we didn't really get much except that Hao is telling Yo the secret of mind reading, and it was due to the main root of it is loneliness. And then we get to learn that the stronger those emotions, I think mostly negative, those feelings become, the more honed the person's ability to read people's minds grow. And I'm sure Hal received a ton of those. And also Anna, if you could remember. So nothing really much happens there, because Ren was asking Yo, don't you think it's time to tell us why you didn't tell us about Opacho's reading abilities? Even he doesn't know, but he just reflected on what Hal was talking about and that sort of thing. And then we hit the cave plant, and Jesus Christ, man, this is one of the most disappointing matches of all time, in my opinion, because Nichrom was in charge of the cave plant. And of course, Ren was like, hey, I know you want to fight me, so here I am. My God, the match was horrible, because for some reason Nichrom was holding back, and Ren was just beating him up left and right, and it's just so disappointing. And you see him grab him by the hair, and Ren was telling Nichrom, if you want to beat me, you need to drop this act, or else you won't survive it. And so we get to see Nichrom use his brother's spirit ally, and this is where finally Nichrom gives Ren a few punches, a couple of stings here and there, but all that ended quickly because he was killed by a bolt of lightning. My God, it's just ugh. It was the worst match ever. It was disappointing because Nichrom had every reason to go all out and just beat Ren to a bloody pulp, and Ren, doing the same. I wanted it to be like a WrestleMania match, but it didn't happen. It was just all one-sided. Even though Nichrom indeed had a couple of swings, it was all Ren in the very end. It's just disappointing. Oh God, it's the worst. And then we hit to the ocean plant, where we get Tai Lim, and he uses plants as his power, and skipping forward because the yo-yos come in. Most of them tried to attack him, but it didn't work out. Then Chocolove steps in, and this is where everything turned to Chocolove's favor, because he used an oversoul called Oversoul in the Air, where the wind dried up the land, killing all plant life, so his plants were dead, all dried up. And then Chocolove gave him the final blow, and that's the end. And then we head towards the last scene where Silva awaits, And that's it. That's the end of the episode, guys. And this episode, again, was rushed. The first half was great, but after that, it just went south. The most disappointing of them all is Nichrom versus Ren. That was so disappointing. I wish they could have extended the episodes, maybe 2 more or 3 more episodes, because at least I wanted the Nichrom and Ren match to be some kind of 2-parter, but it didn't happen. It was all rushed, and God, it was ugh. But I did enjoy the first half. But I'm just having this sinking feeling that the ending for this show is gonna be bad. I don't know why, but hopefully I'm wrong about this. We'll see, guys. We'll see. Maybe it's just my feelings just acting up, But, it is what it is. But what do you guys think? Did you like the episode? Or just like me, did you dislike it? And what would you change? What would you change about this episode that will make it better? And did I miss anything? I need to know, and I do apologize with butchering the Japanese names, but it is what it is. At least I tried. I tried my best. But yeah, it's not a good episode even after the whole reveal. And also, we didn't get a chance to get to this scene where Horo Horo and Kareem were talking in this campfire in the last episode. That didn't happen. Same way we didn't get a chance to see Mata and his father have this moment as to why he did what he did. We didn't get that either, which sucks. My God. But hey, we have 2 episodes left, so we're in this together, guys. We're in this together. Alright then. Thank you, guys. And I will see you all on the other side of Oblivion. I can't talk. Also, before I forget, please subscribe and please give a like if you like it, of course. Alright then. Johnny!